Good morning, good morning. Jim, how you doing? What's happening? Gabe, Jim, everybody, sawati ton chow. Hope everybody is doing well. Today is what, Thursday, October 2nd, all day long. And it is 8:32 a.m. Oh. And let me tell you, right now, we're getting above 32 in the Thai baht department, which is fantastic. 32.47. The air quality 41. It's been rather low. It's been below 20 the last couple days. Temperature is 82, a balmy 82. 90 degrees is the high, 78 is the low, and 85 is the feel like temperature. 84% humidity. And this coming weekend and all next week, rain is in the forecast. So, that's the weather. That's the important stuff. Today we're going to talk about the bank accounts a little bit more, and I'll tell you why. Well, let me just read what I've got here because it tells you why. And it happens that somebody I know had their account frozen. That's good. Now, when you put money in the bank, you expect it to be safe. And that's why people usually trust banks, security, stability, access. But here in Thailand, that is not always what you get. And sometimes your account can be frozen out of nowhere. Good morning, Mr. Bruce. All right, we got the regulars in here today. Now, this isn't just, in theory. Granted, I haven't had my account, I haven't had my accounts locked, any of them. Nobody in my family's had their accounts locked, anything like that. But I have seen it happen with several people, but one in particular I wanted to talk about, and this is a Thai friend of mine. He's a friend of a friend. And he's a fairly young guy. He just finished university. And his account was locked because somebody he didn't know sent him money. They transferred him some money, and the bank flagged it, and then they froze his account. And that was it. So now he's been looking for work, and every employer wants to have access to a bank to direct deposit, and so that they can just deposit everything in his bank account. Well, I guess he's going to have to open a new bank account somewhere else, another bank. I don't know. I don't know exactly what he's doing about it. I'll find out. But right now he wants to keep the same bank account. He's got a problem because he's went to a couple employers and they're like, they made it clear they're going to deposit money in his bank account. Is that a problem? Well, yes, it is right now. He's done nothing wrong, but his life is on hold, and this is part of the bigger issue, which is this isn't just one unlucky case. It's part of a pattern. And it's being driven not only by Thai regulators, but also the international organizations, FATF, the OECD, and the WEF. They're all pushing for tighter rules, stricter compliance, and more control. And, I never had any problems with my bank accounts in the past. They all wanted to lock my account. A place like PayPal, they did lock my account. I got like a $3,500 deposit for something that I was writing for somebody. This is probably 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago. I got a $3,500 deposit that was half of what I was going to get paid. And I got it through PayPal, which was just an ease, it was a convenience thing. And so I got the money. And immediately PayPal locked my account. Oh, you don't usually get these sort of deposits. You don't get this large. It's usually up to about $400 or $500. And I was like, yeah, I understand, but it's legitimate. I showed them the invoice and all that. I sent them an invoice, the receipt rather, and the invoice, total invoice. And they said, well, we'll get back to you. And, you know, to their credit, about 3 days later, they deposited the money back. And then I said, listen, I got another deposit for the same amount coming in a couple of weeks. I've got to do this, and once it's done, I get the other half of the money. And they didn't lock my account then, but that was PayPal, okay? So today's live stream is not really about frozen accounts. It's about a system that puts the people last. You are a customer. You deserve to be treated well. You go into a bank, and you know, this is the thing about Asia. And I don't want to even say Asia anymore, but this is how it used to be in Asia. When I first came here, people used to tell me, oh, you're going to go into a place and somebody's going to be like, listen, you're lucky to be my customer. Okay? You're my customer. You want to continue to be my customer, these are the things you need to do. Whereas in the West, it was more like, oh, you're our customer, you're our valued customer. Now that's changing, okay? But this is what it's about. You know, ordinary people get put last, and it's just like, oh, sorry. Now, imagine you're trying to find a job. You lose your job, maybe, you know, you're 28 years old, 30 years old, whatever. You lose your job. You're like, oh, shit, I got to find another job. I've got, you know, 200,000 baht sitting in the bank, and I got 40,000 baht of bills every month. I've got to keep up with them. So after 3 months, you haven't found a job, and you're like, what's going on? And come to find out, your employer checks on you, and you got a problem with the bank, and they see it. Somehow they see it. They're not going to give you a job. They don't want any problems, which is another aspect of these times, which is that, you know, people can check on you. People can find out things about you. Now, you've been accused of this, or you've supposedly did that. It could just be hearsay. And guess what? You're out of luck. They just go, oh, sorry, we don't want the hassle. They throw their hands up. We don't want the hassle. Jane Goodall died. Yes, I know. That's too bad, but she was 91. I mean, you know, it happens. People get to be 90, 100, and sometimes they die. I had a fraudulent charge from PayPal that debited. Listen, I got stories from PayPal, okay? I had a fraudulent charge from PayPal that debited $300 from my debit account, even though I had no money in. Put me in a negative number. The bank took care of it. PayPal didn't do shit. Listen, I sold some gold when I first moved to Thailand, probably about, I was married then, so probably about 5 years in. I sold like 3 baht of gold. And at the time, it was about $2,000, something like that. I sold it, got the money. I got the money, right? And he's supposed to get the product. So I sent him the product. I've got a receipt. I've got everything. I did everything by the book. I got a tracking number. He received the item. And then PayPal came to me and said, oh, this is a fraudulent transaction. And I was like, who's fraudulent? He's fraudulent. I said, well, you know, I got the money. I gave him the product. And now you're going to screw me out of $2,000. I go, nah, you know. And so what I did was I said to him, you know, if you try to take that money away from me, I'll make sure you don't ever get it. And they said, yeah, okay. And they never got it. I never let them get that money back because I sent the product. I spent the money. And they didn't want to give the money back. And I was like, where's your consumer protection? What happened to that? So, consequently, I don't have a PayPal account in the U.S. anymore. I have one in Thailand. But as people know, in Thailand, PayPal has become much, much more difficult. They won't just give anybody an account here. You have to have a business, a registered business in Thailand, and you're paying taxes on everything. And what I say now is, listen, I got away from them. I used to collect money from them, you know, and it was nice, okay. It was just a different way to collect money, and a lot of people liked it. But the bottom line is that at the end of the day, at the end of when I started doing business, well, at the end of when I was doing business with them, and they said, oh, in Thailand, you've got to have this, you've got to have that. I just went, you know what, fuck it. Enough already, right? I said, I'll do without them. And you know what, there's a lot of fantastic alternatives, and now PayPal has gone into shitter. PayPal was on eBay. PayPal and eBay were merged. They were together. You used to have to take PayPal. That was the way. Now it's PayPal doesn't even do business with eBay. eBay does business with Payoneer, which is complete shit, if you know who Payoneer is. They're garbage. Okay? I was on TV twice in Turkey because of something that happened here in Thailand. And they wanted somebody in Thailand who would give them, you know, the scoop. Oh, this is what's going on. Wow, this is how people feel about it. So I just spoke for, 5 minutes. I made $250. Then they said, would you do it again? I said, sure. I spoke for another 5 minutes, got another $250. I got paid $500. Now, the money came immediately. And Payoneer was like, oh, you've never had any transactions with us. We're going to have to verify and confirm everything. And it took like 2 weeks. And I'm like, this is not good. And my wife does business with them, and she hates it. But what other choices do you have if you're on eBay? So there's all kinds of services out there like that. The problem is you need to make sure that all of them are good. And my fear is that like something will happen with Wise, and there will be no more Wise, and you've got to use Revolut, or you've got to use some other service that may not be quite as good. So we'll see. I'm wondering if most of these blocked accounts are relatively new. No, they're not. Listen, I've had my account, I've had my Thai military bank account for 33 years. You know, 33 years ago. So, well, Wise is a British company. I don't know why they'd be merged with JP Morgan. I thought JP Morgan was an American company. But Wise is a British company. Now, maybe because of their U.S. interests, they're also a U.S. company. I don't know. But, I'm not really all that worried about it. And I'm still waiting for my card, my Wise card. I didn't think so. I thought it was British. Wise is a British company. It was founded in London in 2011 by two Estonian entrepreneurs. It's headquartered in London, UK, and it's listed on the London Stock Exchange under the ticker WISE. It has global offices in US, Singapore, Belgium, Hungary, Estonia, and several other countries. It is regulated in the US as well as by financial authorities and blah, 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 blah. It is not an American company. Is it tight? Wise is independent. Wise does partner with major banks, including JP Morgan Chase. Okay, so it uses banks like JP Morgan to clear the money. Uses Citibank, uses Barclays. There are several banks that Wise leans on, but it is British and independent. But it plugs into JP Morgan. So anyway, if you don't know who I am, my name is Scott. I'm an American. I've been living here for more than 30 years. And, you know, I make videos about things in Thailand, issues in Thailand, problems in Thailand, great things in Thailand, as well as other places in Southeast Asia and also around the world. But most of the time it's having to do with Southeast Asia. If you like this live stream, please click like. If you have yet to subscribe, please do so. Remember to hit the notification bell so you'll stay informed of everything, no matter what it is, videos, live streams, whatever. Also, today I have my goal up on the channel, 5 100 baht contributions. If I reach 5, then I reach my goal. We'll see if I even get 1. But that's my goal. I put that up. So now I'm going to say something about it from now on when I have that. But I do it once in a while. So there's that. And then there is, let's see, if you want to contact me, you can do so through anamericaninbangkok at gmail.com. You can get a consultation. Just send me a message to that email. And of course, I have to, before we get into it, I have to mention my book, The Expat Survival Guide, Living Smart in Thailand. No fluff. It's the real world roadmap to visas, banking, healthcare, the lifestyle, the people, the women, and staying in control of your life here. The link is in the description, and it's also on my website at anamericaninbangkok.com. All right, so we all know about the whole KYC thing, the Know Your Customer. Thing is, there's all kinds of rules with the Know Your Customer. And, you know, Thai banks seem to be more and more strict when it comes to the anti-money laundering and knowing your customer. They're getting more and more strict. And one suspicious or unusual transfer, even if it is completely innocent, can trigger a freeze. My boss had his Wise account frozen in suspicion of money laundering. Okay, my guess is they unfroze it. JP Morgan sucks. Okay, whatever. I don't care what they talk about. People can talk about whatever they want. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. I got an email from Wise today saying I must verify my residential address or my account will be suspended. Well, I mean, why is that unusual? They want to make sure that your address is registered. That's not. They do that once in a while, and they check up. Sometimes they've done it to me. They said, "Oh, you need to register this," or "Oh, your bank account needs to be relinked," or something like that. I don't see that that's a problem. Now, as far as the women goes, Bitmonger, why do you care about what I do at night? Why do you care about me? Don't care about me. You don't need to care about me. I don't care. I don't care that you care about me. You don't have to care about me. You don't have to care about what kind of pussy I'm stroking in the middle of the night, whether it's a gray one or a black one or whatever it is. You don't need to care. It doesn't matter. K-Bank takes direct wires from Wise, but Wise will not let you send to Wise going out. Well, there's no bank account in Thailand that allows you to send the money going out to Wise. I mean, it's not just CASHAPP. Every bank allows you, every bank that I have, CASHAPP, Bangkok Bank, Siam Commercial, TTB, which used to be TMB, and I suspect UOB, but I don't have it linked. Okay? I don't have it linked to my Wise, but they all allow transfers from Wise. I've transferred to every single one of those banks. So, there you go. Now let me see something here. Let's see here. I mean, but you know, in general, get more than one bank account. That's what you do. Get you know, have more than one bank account. Get a couple of banks, bank accounts. Get a couple. Get 3. 3 should be enough. But you know, 3 different banks. That's what I mean. If you do that, you should be fairly safe. Now, if you have all of them at one bank, why would you be safe? They could freeze all your accounts. I understand that. You're not allowed to send money to Wise from a Thai bank account. I don't know what you don't understand. You can't do that. Wise doesn't allow it. And neither does, well, I don't know. Wise doesn't allow it. You can't do it from Wise. I don't know how much clearer I have to be. You can't do it. Doesn't matter what bank account it is. Doesn't matter if it's Siam Commercial, Bangkok Bank. You can't do that. You can transfer in, but you can't transfer out. Now, I wonder why that is. Maybe it's because they don't want you transferring money out of Thailand. They want you bringing money in, which is, you know, how it benefits them. It's not very smart, in my opinion. But, you know, now, once you are frozen, you are guilty until proven innocent, which I think is, you know, obviously backwards. You have to explain yourself, you have to prove documents, and you have to wait on them, which is ridiculous. Listen, the bank who freezes me, I can tell you, my account will be closed with them. I won't do anything. Okay, you want to freeze my account? Go ahead. Because I'm smart enough not to put money in there. Now, especially, I mean, maybe I have 1,000 baht, 2,000 baht in the account. That's it. Little piddly stuff, motorcycle taxis, that's all it's for. So that's a way that you can protect yourself. Now, I'm waiting for my Wise card, but I still have my Truist card, and I also have my Charles Schwab card. I can use both of those cards here in Thailand. It's not a problem. Now, Charles Schwab is better because they don't charge a processing fee, a 3% fee, which is what Truist charges. But with Truist and with Charles Schwab, I can take cash out. I haven't done that in, I don't even know if I remember my PIN numbers, but I haven't done that in months. Should I worry about getting on an elite visa because I want, what? Because I want a Thai bank account? Wait a minute. Why would you worry about an elite visa because you want a Thai bank account? That's not a reason for concern. But you should be able to get a Thai bank account with an elite visa, yes. Can't have POD on an account or beneficiaries. I'm not married. Okay. Well, that doesn't surprise me. I don't have that. Honestly, I don't have that problem, you know, so. There are, contrary to what people think, you know, I hear all these guys now, ooh, especially with these two fat girl videos that I put up about fat chicks, obese women. Guys are coming out from the woodworks. Oh my God. Let me see this here. Where's it at? Let me take a look here. It's unbelievable, some of the comments that I've got. I don't believe some of them, to be honest. And let me see here. See, somebody said it was a polarizing conversation. It's not a polarizing conversation, it's the truth. There's nothing polarizing about it. It's not, well, my opinion is the girls are heavier now. No, the statistics show they are heavier. They're bigger. And so are men. And listen, I've been a short guy, and I've weighed anywhere from about 150, 147 to about 220. And when I was at 220, I was a big guy. I wasn't a big fat guy, but I was big and I had fat on me. I still have some fat on me that I'm getting rid of. But I'm working. That's the thing, I'm always working to get it better, to make myself better. And I'm in a lot better shape than I was, say, a year or two ago. But the thing is that, yeah, okay, so, you know, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You don't want women? Now, this guy says, where's it at here? I saw this one, and I just go, get out of here. All right, here's one that I didn't like. I was in Central Pinklau the other day, which I used to go there every day. Girls here now seem heftier than the girls in the U.S. That's bullshit, okay? They're not heavier than the girls in the U.S. You see some of these freaking walruses. I mean, they got shows about fat chicks in the U.S. My 600-pound life, my 1,000-pound sisters, all these shows. Because there's so many fat people there. And the reason is because they don't give you a normal portion for $29.95. They're giving you a huge portion because it doesn't cost that much more. Good morning. Good morning, Donut. They give you a big portion. Okay, now he says, they dress sloppily as a result. I guess they are wearing men's clothes. That's just a horseshit comment. Add in Vietnamese women to the mix. What is this stupid comment? We know your motto is all cats are gray in the dark. Who was the dumbass who posted that? Americans are easily the fattest. Now, I don't know about that. I don't think so. You know why? Because it's more like the Fijians, Tongans. They tend to be the fattest people on the planet. What's the matter? No. Why retire in Thailand if you risk having your bank account frozen? Well, what's funny is that of all the people who've had their bank accounts frozen, foreigners, most of them, I would say it's because they don't have their shit together. Now, some of them, they're legitimate. It's all legitimate. It could be from the scammers. It could be because they made some kind of a transaction that was unusual for their account. It could be because they don't have their phone number matched up with the bank account. There's a lot of reasons. I'm not saying that is the only, those are the only reasons. Sometimes it is just the bank's fault. But if you look at the percentage, and you have guys like me, I got 7 different accounts with 5 banks. Not one of them has been locked. I've heard several other American people telling me, my account's never locked. So, you know, I don't worry about that. Did facial recognition at SCB yesterday. They understood what I needed. It only took 15 minutes. They called the head office to explain to me in English, took my photo and confirmed my photo with OTP. Okay, and that's no big deal. I had some Thai friends in the U.S. who were having trouble moving baht from Thailand to the U.S. at the time. I was building up my 800,000 baht retirement in Thailand. I would give them money, I would give them cash in the U.S. Now the thing is if you want to transfer money from Thailand to the U.S., you have to show a legitimate reason. And I mean, if you're transferring to a friend for no good reason, well, I don't know that that's going to always be considered legitimate, but the big transfers that I've made, and I've made, I think it was 2, but maybe it was 3. And I know one of them was like 75 grand. And they were like, oh, they made a big deal about it. And you know, a half an hour later, I was out the door and they made the transfer. Because I had to show them where the money was going, what it was going for. I had to show them, like I showed them, this was to for boxing. And I had to show them the fees associated with the title belts and how much their fees were for administration and all that kind of stuff. And then we were doing part of the promotion. So it was, you know, like 75 grand. And another time it was something like 35, 40. That's what I remember. But, you know, I got it done. Now, if you want to transfer to a person, you might want to create an invoice. You might want, you know, do something like that, you know, for whatever. You know, built my wall or whatever it might be. Spent 42 hours at $500 an hour, you know. Then they would deposit to my Bangkok bank. I thought using a Visa agent to fund the account for Visa is one. That's not an issue at all. Not an issue at all, Daniel. They had businesses here. Well, if they had a business here, they should have been able to prove that they were going to send money to the United States for a particular reason. They should have been able to do that, but maybe they didn't know at the, you know, and listen, Thailand can be very difficult about this, which, you know, that really sucks, but they're all like tighten. Oh, we have to protect against terrorism. We have to protect against this. We have to protect against, we're protecting you. No, you're not protecting me. You're covering your ass is what you're doing. It's about CYA. Don't ever let them convince you that it's for other reasons. You got more espresso? What? Only one. Should I? Two or three. Okay. Let's see here. There is pressure on Thailand. Thailand's anti-money laundering office demands aggressive freezes. Now, why is that? Why is that? Bank of Thailand enforces compliance standards, punishes banks for being too lenient. Now, this is the thing. Why is it that they enforce compliance standards, but all the banks are different? Because they interpret the whatever memo they got to be however they want to interpret it. Instead, they should make it very clear cut, and there's only one way to interpret something. This guy's got to have this. Okay, I understand. Maybe you need a little bit of leniency, but you don't need as much as they have now. Now it's like you go to a bank, they're charging people money to open an account. That's ridiculous. Why would you charge somebody money to keep money at your account? They're doing you a service, right? You're the one who's giving them your money to hold. That way, you're trusting them. They should be the ones who go, thank you very much. Not, you need to do this, you need to do that, and by the way, you have to pay us. That's just bullshit. FATF, international watchdog that grades countries. If Thailand looks weak, it risks blacklisting. FATF, I forgot, I looked it up yesterday. It's the Financial Action Task Force. Global money laundering and terrorist financing watchdog. It sets international standards that aim to prevent any discrepancies. Can I use a visa agent monies and return my $800,000 to the U.S.? Or you can use a visa agent so that you don't have to go to immigration. Well, you probably have to go, but you only go for a split second, and they do it for you and they charge you money. But you don't have to go all through the rigmarole of that. I understand you need to verify the source of funds in Thailand before funds can be transferred overseas. I don't know what you mean by that, but you don't need to verify the source of your funds. What you need to do is you need to verify where the funds are going. Now, maybe when I had the 75 grand, I had 75 grand in cash. I just walked in with a stack of money and I said, I need to transfer this money. They didn't ask me where I got it. They didn't ask anything. Now, they might now, I don't know. Good thing is that they gave me a good break on. All right, whatever. I understand, but you know, it's like not everybody can do that, and some people can, some people can't, and sometimes it's, you know, they could have just done it themselves if they really wanted it. I'm sick, but it's good for you if you're getting a good exchange rate and they're giving you the money. I'm sick of having to explain why or what I am doing with my money. That's why I'm a Bitcoin. Yeah, I understand that. And if I had more money, probably I would get involved in that. But I don't really want to take a chance right now. Fucking banks charge a deposit fee as well. Complete BS. They loan our money out. Banks just suck ass. What I mean is the banks may ask you how you acquired the funds in Thailand to ensure it's legitimate. Well, I'm sure they can. Now, they didn't do it to me the times that I made overseas transfers. They didn't ever do it to me. They didn't ask me, where'd you get this money from? They didn't do that. Now, one time I had the money in the bank, and they didn't say a word. The other time was cash, and I don't remember the third time, but I think there was a third time, but it wasn't all that much money. It was something like 5 grand or something. But they can do it, of course. So what are you going to tell them? Well, I got 75 grand. This guy gave it to me in a deal that I made. You know, that kind of stuff doesn't fly. It's all got to, you know, the problem is it's got to be legit. And if you're going to transfer like 100 grand, well, maybe you spend $1,500 and you fly over with the money and you do it that way. And then you got to declare everything, technically. So you're screwed no matter what. They got you, listen, they got you by the short hairs now. There's no way around it. I mean, even Bitcoin, you got to declare things. You're trying to get the money. You have to figure out how to get the money from point A to point B. If it goes to a bank account, they can always lock the bank account. There's all kinds of things you got to think about. In China, you have to have a notarized tax receipt to send money out. Wonder if they, well, they do that already with the FET form. They do that for when you're bringing money into the country to purchase a property or to make an investment inside of Thailand. Then when you take the money out and you want to send it back, you have to have that form, that receipt, in order to send the money back out so that you're not paying taxes on it. Yeah, I don't have that problem. And I have, with TTB, it's 4 million. For Bangkok Bank, it's 2 million. For K Bank, it's normally 200,000, but if I call them, I get like 500,000. And then SCB, I think you got to call them every time. I don't know. I don't care, because generally I don't have to send money back to the U.S. Usually I'm bringing money in, you know, so that makes it easy for me, but, you know, for some people it is difficult. Money transfer slips in a letter from the bank when I bought my properties here in Thailand. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about, you know, even buying property here. It's not all that good, I can tell you that. Thinking now, I probably, even if my wife said, hey, let's get this house, I would go, no, I don't want to. Now it depends, if it was an $8 million baht house and I had 8 million plus maybe another 8 million, 10 million just sitting in the bank where I could just go ahead and pay cash on it, I would probably do it. Just for my kids, for her, I would just do it. No, the banks do not, I don't ever think like that. Banks don't love me, businesses don't love me, money doesn't love me, and very few people love me. And that's how I look at it. Because money has no emotions. The people at the bank, they don't go, I didn't say 39 years. I said 30 plus, it's 31. And I don't want a house. We could definitely afford a house. That's not the problem. My wife's been approved for houses 4 times. And every time I go, you know what? That other house was better. Let's try to get that other house. Oh, okay. Oh, it got sold. Well, I don't want to buy this one now. It's not really, it's not really worth it. And, now that I think about it, I'm like, it's not worth it. We have a house. We have a house in the south, and we have land, we have fruit, vegetable, we have everything. So what do we need to buy another house for? When we have dirt cheap rent, there's no real reason that I can see where we have to do that. And I know people that have houses and all that. Okay, good for you. I understand it. But also I understand the cut and run mentality that I still have. Which is, pack your bug out bag, know what you need, what are your essentials, and guess what your essential is? You don't have the money where you live. That's how I look at it here. I don't want to have a lot of money where I live. And, I got to make a deposit into the bank today after the stream. And the money's going to be in the bank for a split second. Boom, I make a payment that has to be made. That's it. No more. Then the money's gone. Then I got cash and I got money in the U.S. All right, let's continue here. Oh, God. The OECD pushing global tax and financial transparency rules like CRS. What is the CRS? What does that mean? Common reporting standards. Listen, who are they to say? They're just some organization. And usually organizations are self-serving. I base the purchase around a percentage of my net wealth. Love Thailand, plan to die here, but you never know. I say don't allocate more than 10%. Yeah, exactly. Don't spend more than you can afford to lose. Problem with buying a residential property is it's difficult to move if you have problems with neighbors. If you rent, you can just pack up and go. Yeah, that's a problem. And then also, you're not really buying the property unless you're buying a condo. You're not going to be able to buy it. You're not going to go and buy a big piece of land and then build a house on it and it's going to be all yours. No, it's going to be your wife's or your family's, your Thai family, whatever they may be, your sons, whatever. It's not in your name. And, okay, I understand, I trust my family. I don't think anything's going to happen. But I'd prefer to have it in my own name. Who wouldn't? Oh, God, the WEF, they are setting the narrative. They push the cashless society, digital currencies, and a tighter know your customer as the future of finance. Well, again, what does the world need them for? Everything is operated just fine for hundreds of years. Now, things have been more difficult. but they operate just fine. 10 years ago, everything was fine. There were no real major problems, and if there was a problem, you took care of it. Thai regulators want to look modern on the world stage, so they adopt to these ideas fast. Now, I want to look modern. Oh yeah, we are super modern. Yeah, we are so modern. What does that matter? You're not super model, super modern. Modern. I'm saying it like a Thai. Super modern. Super modern. They're not super modern. That's the thing. The majority of Thailand is still agricultural. It's coming up. It's growing. It's becoming more first world. It is not third world. It is a developing nation. So OEC sets the standards, FAT grades compliance, WEF promotes control as progress, the Bank of Thailand and AMLO enforce it, and then Thailand banks freeze the accounts and ordinary customers suffer. See, if I didn't need a bank to get paid, I probably wouldn't even use them. I wouldn't have a bank account. I understand these old guys in their taxis, they're just like, you know, they don't need it. Invest in silver, invest in gold, whatever. Invest in Bitcoin. But make it difficult for somebody to get your money, because, you know, if they get it and you can't get it back for whatever reason it is, you are screwed. Right now there is no accountability, and banks do not face penalties for delays on what's going on. They say 4 hours, but it's weeks. Remember, they went back and said, oh, we'll try to, whenever we get all the documents, it's only going to take about 4 hours for us to release everything. That's not going on. They're not doing that now. They don't fear the customers, because guess what? The customers, they know the customers need them. They fear the regulators and getting bad grades from the global bodies, because the customer is just going to go, I'll take my business elsewhere. Well, guess what? The $1 million baht we got in the bank, you're not getting it back until we get all your paperwork. And you're screwed. So now, how does this inspire confidence? Because to me, it doesn't inspire any confidence. When I start hearing stuff like this, at first I go, oh, well, maybe they're just trying to be, you know, trying to be safe. That's the first thought. And then I think to myself, no, it's not just about safety. It's like when my bank tells me, oh, you're in another country. We want to make sure that you didn't have the card stolen and somebody else is trying to use it. Well, what's to say that I don't travel internationally? Why would you lock my card? Why don't you send me an email saying we got a transaction? If this transaction was not you, please let us know immediately, and we will lock your card. Seems better to do it that way. But oh, it's for your safety. I don't need you to worry about my safety. Just like I don't need suggestions. I don't need all these. I don't need them. If I need them, I ask. Right? Where was that other comment that I wanted to talk about? This idiot. No, this is not him. Yeah, there are so many buffaloes and wild pigs now. Come on. Really? There's a lot of women out there, a lot of Thai women out there who are not obese. There may be 40% that are overweight or obese, but there's 60% that are not. And I think that's probably more than in the U.S., or less than in the U.S. rather. Well, 60% is more than in the U.S. Where did I see that? Oh, I've slept with over 10 women so far, and I've been here for 2 months. I haven't had a thin girl yet, still waiting. Well, maybe you're just a chubby chaser. Maybe you like them thick. If you want somebody thinner, well, then don't screw someone fatter. That's all. That's my suggestion to you. So there you go. You get a suggestion. Unbelievable. I can't own the land. You can lease it, though. Oh, yeah, you can lease it. I think, don't you have to have a business, though, or your name needs to be a business or something like that? I forget what it is, but if you're older, you will likely die before that time is up. No worries. Yeah. See, I don't want to have to do that. Yeah, having a son with dual citizenship, okay, you put it in his name. You know, as long as the son's not a complete dickhead, then you're good. Gold is great hedge in Thailand, very liquid. Aren't they? They're freezing safety deposits. I haven't heard that. I have not heard that yet. That would suck. Now, I want to tell you the fattest in the world. Number one is Tonga. 72% of adults are obese. Number two, Nauru, 70%. Number three, Cook Islands, 69%. Number four, Niue, 67%. Number five, Tuvalu, 64%. Number six, Samoa, 62%. Number seven, Bahamas, 47%. Number eight, Marshall Islands, 46%. Number nine, Kiribati, 46%. Number 10, Kuwait. Now, most of them are Pacific Island nations, and their population is small, but a high percentage of them are extremely large. You know that. You know, Samoans are, some of them are some big boys. And when I say big bone, I mean, you know, some of them are just huge. No, safety deposit boxes aren't being frozen in Thailand. They're freezing accounts, but the safety deposit boxes are a totally different animal. And if you have a safety deposit box in the bank, they don't monitor the contents, and they don't get frozen that way. But the only way they could have access to it or restrict your access if you don't pay, or they get a legal order to restrict you from accessing the box. Or you can just get a private safety deposit box at a private company, not a bank. And I'm talking about because I had one a while back, and it was great. But they had, you know, a sprinkler system for fires and all this other kind of stuff. It was I mean, you know, you had to do biometrics then, and this is 12 years ago, something like that. So, there you go. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, click the like button. I'd appreciate it. Subscribe if you have not done so already. Consider a what are they called? I can't even remember what they're called. A super chat. Look down in the description at all the different ways. The Cash App. Become a sponsor on the channel for as little as $1.99. I still have Buy Me a Coffee. Not many people use that anymore. I've got all kinds of merch. You can get one of my books, including the book that I have pinned at the top of the comments in this chat. That one's a PDF book. The other ones are physical books. There's all kinds of ways you can help out, or just watch. That's good too. Would you spend on such fireproof and waterproof suitcase and file folder? Would I? Well, I think it's good that if it's fireproof and waterproof. But when I had my safety deposit box, which was for about a year, that was fireproof and waterproof. So I was like, okay, cool. Now I don't have the same kind of discretionary funds that I once had. But it really did help me at the time. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, many Thais feel punished, and they feel punished by the banks for absolutely no reason. They just happen to have an account at that bank, so they lose trust, and then they keep cash at home. You know, screw me once, okay. Screw me twice, hey. Screw me 3 times, forget about it. I'm keeping the cash at home. And the expats see locals being frozen out of their accounts, and they see some of their friends being frozen out of their accounts. And, you know, some of them expect worse for themselves. So they're not confident. I'm not confident in the banking system here. And to be honest, you know, I used to be very confident in the banking system here. I thought, oh, Thailand's got their act together. Now I'm like, no, I'm not confident at all. Now, sometimes some of the smaller and medium-sized enterprises, they can't handle any kind of payroll delay. So maybe they can handle one. But then if you go a month and go, well, sorry, you have no access to your funds. They're like, well, how are we supposed to make payroll? You know, maybe they've got 60-day invoices or something like that. I mean, listen, I used to have a 30-day invoice and a 60-day invoice at my company in the U.S. And I wouldn't get paid sometimes. Sometimes they'd pay late. And, you know, I would say, listen, if you hit 90 days, well, after 90 days, you got to pay a percentage. It was like 2% or 1%, something like that. And you know, I never really made them pay it, as long as they paid me. But imagine that, you got a business and you can't pay your vendors, you can't pay your staff because they're holding your money. Might be good to stash some baht in a safety deposit box as well, since they are unlikely to freeze it. You can get one of those backpacks that are waterproof and fireproof, but they may be too heavy and expensive. Well, I think if you got a bug out bag, you should always carry, I mean, at least $1,000, but more like 5 or 10. Or maybe you carry 5,000 and you carry 5,000 in gold or silver or something. I don't know. I don't like keeping a lot of cash or gold at home. Even the gold my wife owns a bit risky with gold prices ripping. Yeah. It's always risky to keep anything at home, especially in some place where, you know, it might not be that difficult to find. Now, imagine this. You got one bank account, you've got 500,000 sitting in the bank. You got to pay your 25,000 baht a month rent, and you can't pay for it because all you had was 20,000 baht at the house for emergencies. Now you can't pay your rent. You have a bunch of unpaid bills. And if you got a business, maybe people aren't getting their salaries. They're getting pissed because then now they're suffering. And as I said earlier, job offers are withdrawn because there is no active account that people can make a direct deposit into. Some expats may be unable to meet their visa requirements because the funds are locked. I don't know how often that happens. But small businesses, you know, they can be strangled by the broken cash flow, the lack of cash flow. So what are they supposed to do? All because the bank says, oh, it's willy-nilly. It's not like they got a court order that says, okay, we need to lock this person's account until we find out what's going on. No, the bank just goes, oh, it looks suspicious. Let's lock it up there, Somchai. Okay, yeah, no problem. I hit the button, and then you're locked out. You can never rely on one bank. You always must keep some foreign reserves, money in a foreign account, whatever, you always need to keep some cash. If you ever see these guys like Jason Bourne, James Bond, whoever, all these guys, every time they get a suitcase, they got a suitcase and it might have 3 different currencies in it. They got $10,000 of US, $10,000 of this, $10,000. That's what you got to work towards. And, I don't have 3 currencies. I wish I did. I can't afford that, but 1 currency, okay, no problem. So you keep some cash. And then if you have a problem, you go, all right. I mean, we were saying the other day, and I think it was Mitch, Mr. Mike. I think that's who it was. He goes, oh, $100 in your wallet? And it wasn't $100, it was $100 in US and $100 in Thai. And he said, oh my God, what do you got to do that for? Oh, why is it so much? You don't need to do that. And I was like, yes, you do. In my opinion, you do. And, if anything, okay, so you lose 6,000 baht, 7,000 baht, whatever it is. That's not all that much, really, in the bigger picture. It's not that much money. You don't want to lose it, but if you have that, listen, if you need to negotiate something really quick, you got it. And the other thing that people don't think about that is a fantastic way to negotiate is if you got a Rolex. I don't have a Rolex, I got a tag. But a Rolex is like, in some places, ready-made cash. So, I don't like you. That's exactly what happened to my friend. They froze his account. He can't pay his rent. I gave him a loan. There you go. That's what I mean. So this is not good. And I wish they would just straighten it out. You would think they could straighten it out. For whatever reason, they're not really able to do it. Now, you should use Wise and Revolut or your home country banks as lifelines, because that's what they can be. I got 3 bank accounts in the U.S. and usually only one of them has a substantial amount of money in it. The other ones have a little bit, but I transfer a little bit of money all the time to each one of them so that it just keeps building up, so that if I have an emergency, I can go, oh, okay, I got to pay for this. That's a 10,000 baht I didn't expect. Okay. And what you should do, I hate to say it, but you should document everything. You don't have to keep it somewhere where people can find it, but you should document everything so that you know what's going on. And just assume, I do this. I've already done it proactively. I assume, hey, maybe one of my accounts is going to get frozen, which is why I don't have much money in any account. It's not like I couldn't transfer some money and I got some money in my accounts. Of course I could. But when I have money in the account, that money is gone within a minute or two. I got to pay my American Express bill. Boom, paid. I got to pay for something else. I pay my True bill with my U.S. card. Now, I can't pay my Spotify bill unless I feel like spending 20 bucks. It's only $8 here, $7.80 or something like that. So I don't want to pay 20 bucks when I can just pay $7.50, $8, whatever it is. So, this is what you got to do. In a cashless payment, businesses seem more flexible than other countries with accepting cash. In Malaysia, they seem less flexible when accepting cash at cashless businesses. Yeah, I don't like it, quite frankly, because what is cash for? It's for legal tender. Cash is king. I don't care what anybody says. It's good to hedge, have some U.S. dollars and baht. If you live in the land of spoils, arbitrage it. A Rolex is liquid. Yes. Oh, Jesus Christ. I would definitely concur that A Rolex is liquid. Now, that's not to say that, you want to give your Rolex away, but, if you have a dire emergency, that might be the way that you can you can get out of it, or you can put it up for collateral or something. But let's be clear, this is not as rare as it used to be, for sure. These freezes are happening. Now, it's a small percentage if you think about it, but once it happens, you learn how powerless you really are in this system. And that's the thing. This is a system. You're in the system. Now, what I've said, and I've talked to a couple other guys about this, is that in many ways I am outside of the system, but there are some ways it's very difficult to get out of the system. When I receive my cash, I get cash to a bank. Okay. Very difficult unless you want to have a check sent to you. Then where are you going to cash the check? Oh, a check cashing place. Okay, good luck. It's like disappearing. It used to be pretty easy, back 150 years ago, 200 years ago, people could disappear. You could kill somebody in one state, go to a couple states over, and nobody would know who you are. You change your name. You'd say your name is John Smith, and it used to be Joe Smith, or, whatever it was. But nowadays, it's almost impossible. The banks don't care about your inconvenience. Like I said, the banks, they don't love you. They're not going to show you love. They're not going to show you anything other than what is good for their bottom line. Regulators don't care if your visa, your job, your family stability are on the line. They don't care. All they care about is me, 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 me. And I'll give you an example of why I almost got screwed. And that was when I went up to Bangkok Bank. I put my bank card in. I take out some money. I wanted to go deposit this in another bank. All the banks are on the top floor now, so everything is right next to each other. They used to be scattered throughout the mall. Now they wanted to make it more easy, I guess, for people to go to banks. Oh, it's on the third floor. Now they only have 2 ATMs in the whole mall, besides the ones at the mall, at the banks. They have 2 other ATMs, and they're in the back. They're in the back of this area here. Siam Commercial and Kasi Corner. Every other bank is upstairs. Now, Siam Commercial and Kasi Corner have ATMs up there also. But I took the money out. I walk over, I go down, I walk over to Kasi Corner. It takes me about 2 minutes. I deposit my money. I start walking back, and I go, hey, where's my card? And I went, oh, I left it at Bangkok Bank. So I run over there. My card's not, I don't see it anywhere. I'm like, what happened to my card? I'm like, son of a bitch, it ate my card. So I waited until 11 o'clock right on the dot when they open up. This is like 10:30. At 11 o'clock they open up. I went in, I said, your ATM ate my card. Can I get it back, please? No, cannot. I had one lady who was like, nah, there's always this lady. There's one that works here. I said, can you change my money for me? This was a couple days ago. Can you change this 1,000? I need a 500 and 5 100s. No half. I went, okay. She left. I went up to the other girl. I said, listen, I want a water. It's 25 baht. I only have 1,000 baht. Oh, okay. She reached down below, underneath. She had all the money she needed. The girl just didn't want to take the money out. It's not locked up. It's just like a little cabinet. They got a bunch of money in there. She didn't want to give it to me. So I'm like, okay. So getting back to Bangkok Bank, the lady's like, no, cannot. And I'm like, I'd like to speak to the manager. The manager comes over. She's like, oh, I understand, but, you have to write your bank. And I said, write my bank? It's going to take me a month to get a card. I said, I need the card now. Okay, let me see what I can do. They called up the head office. I speak to the person in the head office. The lady goes, 1 second, please. Can you please put the woman onto phone? The woman I was originally dealing with, the cannot lady. She gets back on the phone. In about 1 minute, she goes, okay. She's holding the phone. She goes over to the ATM. She goes, which one? I go, this one right here. She tells everybody, go to the east. Don't come. You can't come here. She goes into the ATM. She opens the ATM up. There's my card right on the top. It's right there. All she did was just go, took it out, closed the ATM again. She goes, here you are. Oh, wait. You have to sign for it. I said, okay. I signed for it. I get my card back, and I went, thank you. Now, had I not pushed her a little bit, she would have just went, sorry, you're going to have to get a new card from your bank. And I didn't have to do that. So, nobody cares about you there at the banks. They only care about what is good for their bank. Oh, it's CYA. Oh, you don't have the card. We don't want to give it to you because it might not be your card. It might not be my card. I got my signature on the back. I have 3 bank accounts at the bank. You can check me. Everything is legit. Oh. Now, what the banks really care about are the compliance reports, the international rankings, and making sure the OED, the FATF, and the WEF think that Thailand is playing completely by the rules. And this destroys confidence. Thais don't trust their banks, expats don't either, and businesses feel rather choked. They feel stifled, and when the trust goes, people look for alternatives, cash under the bed, crypto, fintech apps, foreign banks, whatever kind of crypto it might be. I don't even know which the big ones are other than Bitcoin, but the official system loses credibility. And that's kind of a takeaway here. You don't want to put blind trust into Thai banks. You don't want to believe that just because your money is in there today, it's going to be available tomorrow, that it's going to be safe and sound and no one's going to do anything with it. You need to treat the bank as a tool, kind of like a phone. It's useful but not always dependable. Why do you need to have a YouTube channel if you don't need money? I don't know. What do you need a YouTube channel if you have plenty of money for? Maybe because you want to use the YouTube channel because you don't need the money. Maybe you're using it because you make a little money. Maybe you make a lot of money. Who knows? Why would you ask such a stupid question? Rather stupid question. Oh, God. I mean, that's what I see. From my experience, Bangkok Bank seems to be like the most uptight prudes. I think they're the biggest sticklers. SCB to me, SCB is tighter than Bangkok Bank. TMB is close to CASHAPP, but I think CASHAPP is very laid back about most things. You just go in and do what you got to do, and they will take care of you. And also, you have UOB, United Overseas Bank, but I think that's a Singaporean bank. But they've always been good with me, but I just keep money in that because I opened up an account in my kid's name. And that's what that's for. So. Oh, okay. Lucky you. I went to Amazon for my coffee. It's good to see you still live here. What? You still live here? Yeah, I still live here. As far as I know, I still live here. I'll be living here one way or the other for probably the rest of my life. And if I don't, I'll be somewhere else where I'm enjoying myself. I won't be, if I'm in the US, it will be for short term, probably no more than 3 months. And then, out of there. You know, because at this point, why do I need to move aside from any kind of problems that they have here in Thailand about visas and things like that? If they change something drastically and they make it really, really hard, where maybe you have, let's say you have 100,000 expats here now, and they make it so hard that now there's only 20,000. 80,000 went home for some reason. Well, then I understand. But I don't think that's going to happen. Oh, those are tasty, man. They are so tasty. I made another order the other day, and I got a bunch of burgers, and I got minced lamb, and I got, what do they call, English breakfast sausages. And I got a, what's it called? Delmonico steak. Yeah, I've really been living here for 30 years. I'm 63. Well, I'll be 63 next month. So. How long you been living here? Or do you live here? I was one of the lucky ones. I got in while the getting was good. Delmonico steak was fantastic. Yeah, I got in when it was good. I got in when it was, you know, visa runs were the norm. You could get a tourist visa for 15 months. Yeah. Actually, I came here before 1995, and then I decided to stay. How are you? I'm fine, but like I said, I'm 63 and I'm doing good. They did have internet cafes back then. In fact, they had dial-up modems when I first came here. And there was no voice IP, there was none of that shit. And then once I moved here, they started, well, once I got ready to move here, when I was still kind of traveling back and forth, they had net to phone. And it didn't work very good. It was kind of crappy. But everything was done by dial-up. You know. So you'd go into a place and you got to sit and wait for the modem to come. Hey, Mortgage Mike. I thought it was Mr. Mike for some reason. Thank you very much there. Well, the name of my channel is An American in Bangkok. So where do you think I live? I live in Tunisia. What are you watching? Homework? What is it?
Advertisement from Ram.
For what?
From Ram.
Oh, for their. You find my English class yet? My Thai class? Sitting here with Nick, my son, my youngest son, the baby of the family. Yeah, there's so much change here. There's so much change I can't even remember it all. And you know, somebody told me a while back, oh, you know more in your little, you've forgotten more than most people know. And I don't usually say that or anything like that, but when I think about it, I go, yeah, you know, sometimes that's true. There's a lot of things I don't remember, and then I go, oh yeah, remember that? When did you start booking flights and hotels online? Before, did you go to a travel agent? No, I didn't. I looked up things in the newspaper, Sunday's LA Times most of the time. And I would just find a good fare, call them up and see about it, and then I would get a ticket that way. That's great. I've tried living all over Thailand. You should try it. Too late for you. What? What the fuck are you talking about? You have no idea, my friend. I've lived all over Thailand. I've been all over Thailand. I've been damn near everywhere. I've been married for 27 years. A long time. A long time. I met her when we were just looking at some pictures together. Actually, you know what? Let me see something here. Let me see do I have this picture? Oh, I do. How do you do that? Where do you... Let me see if I can do this. Now, this was back in 2000 when I have this picture. Let me see here. Image upload. Let me see here. I remember looking for flights in the newspaper. Damn, we're old. Hey, what are you gonna do? You know? What you gonna do? I don't know where this photo is. Let me see if I can do it. Pulling up receipts. Dude, what are you talking about, dude? You have no idea what you're talking about, which doesn't surprise me. Talking a lot of smack about something you don't know anything about. Now I gotta see. What's his name? Xander or something. I'm trying to put up a photo so I can show you guys. That's right, you don't. Just take everything with a grain of salt. Now let me see if I can find him here. What? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? He was in Natural Born Killers too, but let me see where he is. If I can find him here. Awards, videos. Where's the stars? Where are the people? Oh, here it is right here. Emmanuel Exubereb. Phuket, Chiang Mai, Udon Thani, Pattaya, you name it, man. But I've been to many, many, many places. I just came from Lipe. All right, I'm going to put this up here. Let me see if I can see this here. Yes, here we go. This one should make my buddy happy. If you go to my Facebook, let me see if I can do this without the Facebook. Do they allow that? How do they do that? Well, if you got Facebook, let's see here. I think you got to have Facebook, but I don't know. Let me see here. All right, Daniel, take it easy. Oh, shit, they don't have the... Here you go. I'm just going to put this up. You want to go, you can go. How do you, can I do it on my community tab? I think I can. So let's see here. Maybe I can do it on here on Facebook or YouTube rather. I can just post this photo. You guys should be able to see it. Ah, shit. What the hell, man? Why did it do that? Alrighty. There we go. This is back in the day. All right, so if you go to, I think this is it right here. I'll put a little, there we go. I think if you go there, big boy. I love it when people call me big boy. I'm not that big. If I try to pay cash, you guys identify it's sometimes not possible. Yeah, I know. Wow, congratulations. Oh, thank you. See you later. Facebook, is that from the future? Well, maybe China has it. Dude, I don't like you. You're a dick. See you later. I just don't like you. Already, I don't like you. You're like waiting to do something. And that was before I really had hair. Oh yeah, great. And my buddies. I think that guy was a little bit of a dick. You know, to put it mildly. And I just don't need that kind of shit. You know, it's like that passive aggressive shit. He wants to talk shit, but he's not completely talking shit. So, you know, fuck him. I don't care. I really don't care. I mean, I care about how many subscribers I have. Of course I do, you know. Hey, it'd be nice to have, you know, 20 million subscribers, but I don't. So whatever I get, you know. And I only need 36 more, and I got 19,000. So help me out. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I think it's a pretty good picture. I think it's pretty good. And everywhere I went, I was always dressed up in a suit. I'd go walk down to the cafes and have a nice espresso or a cappuccino, and I'd have a little croissant. This is in Cairns. I'd go down and I'd be dressed in, you know, my jeans and a jacket, or I'd go down in a suit or whatever it was. It was fantastic. It was such a good time. Anyway, let's get back to this this thing here. You don't want to put blind trust into Thai banks, like I said. You want to spread your funds around, diversify a little, keep cash, keep foreign accounts. Never let one institution have full control over your life. And Thailand, you know, of course it is still a fantastic place to live, but you need to live smart. The banking, don't get it twisted, man. The banks don't serve you. They serve all the regulators and global bodies. They're not servicing you. They're not helping you. They're not here for you. You know, if you want stability, you got to build it up yourself. You've got to spread that money around so that if they get you, they don't get you for that much. And you just go, oh, it's a little minor inconvenience. And I'll never forget someone that I know who was here went to go get some money from the ATM, and they had told their bank, hey, I'm going to be in Thailand. understand that, please don't lock my account. Now they went to the bank, make a withdrawal from the ATM, and it said, sorry, you need to contact your bank. They had locked the account. They just took out another ATM card and just took the money out from the other ATM card. That night they called, and the bank, oh, very sorry. Of course, I hate that sorry shit. Sorry. Yeah, you're sorry. But fortunately, they had another account. They took the money out, and that's how it was. Yeah. I kind of feel for you a little bit, and I understand how things can be, but I think the banks in the U.S. now, they're better than in Thailand for sure. The banking system is better than it is here. And I used to not be able to say that. I used to say, oh, the Thai banks are great. They're just as good as U.S. banks, if not better. That was the caveat. But I don't believe that now. And, I don't even trust the U.S. banks. If I could get another account, which I know I can, I just have to go and do it. If I can get another account somewhere, not in Wise, somewhere else where I put, 10 grand or something, just sitting there, whether it's in Singapore or, somewhere else. I would much rather do that than just have money in Thailand and then go, okay, well, my backup is the U.S. Okay, well, that's great, but you really need a third backup. The banks serve themselves. The only time they might serve you is if you're a high net worth individual, then they tend to kiss ass. Yes, I do know that. They do kiss your ass. You've got, a private officer who deals with you, and you don't really have to do much of anything. They do everything for you. Oh, let me get that for you. So, anyway. Well, Singapore is, you want to talk about by the book, and you want to talk about strict. Singapore's are pretty by the book and strict. I work for a credit union, use them over banks. Yeah, a credit union is the way to go, I think. And I think 2 Quarters Korean has a credit union. And I think I'm actually eligible at the credit union, but I got too many bank accounts. I don't have enough money to put in all of them, to be honest. I got plenty of banks. I just need some money to fill them up with. So, like I always say, Thailand, I still think Thailand's a great place to live. Now, at some point I might go, it's a great place to live, but this is a deal breaker, or this is a deal breaker, or we got a couple of deal breakers here now, and I can't continue to live here. I don't know. And then I got to think about, everything going on with my kids and my wife, and, we got to figure things out. But we do have a backup plan, and we have a plan C and a plan D. So, it might take a while for everything to pan out, but, I'm getting old. Depends. I could die at 65, or I could die at 85. So I don't really know how much time I have left, which, when you're young, you think you got all your life ahead of you. While the truth is, you could still go out and get hit by a bus. Now, like I said, control your money, control your backups, have a backup, keep on top of your options, and if you fail to do that, that's when you might get stung, and you might wake up one day and you go, oh, I'm locked out of my account. And then you're SOL. All right, so do me a favor. Remember to hit the like button. Where would I go? Well, first place that I can go is the United States. That's a piece of cake. I can go there we could stay with my parents for a short period of time. I wouldn't want to stay there for any length of time just because, you know, I don't want to intrude on their lives, and I don't want them, you know, I know we're family, but, you know, it would be good that we had our own place, but we would only have our own place for no more than about 3 months. And then we would get out of there and go somewhere else. It would either be like Ecuador or Portugal or some other place in Europe. Yeah, I can't see going anywhere else other than that. The problem with Portugal now is that it's a little overdone, but there are other places in Europe that you can go, and at some point we may go there. I don't know. It really depends on how much we're able to put away in the next couple of years, and also what my kids are doing. There's a whole bunch of things to think about. So anyway, remember to hit the like button. Remember to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit the notification bell. If you'd like to show your support for the channel, you can do so by hitting that join button down below. And you get membership with the VIP section of the channel for as little as $1.99. If you want to contact me, anamericaninbangkok@gmail.com. Consultation, comment, whatever you want to do, question. And don't forget my book, The Expat Survival Guide, Living Smart in Thailand. It's linked below. It's linked in the chat. It's going to be linked below once the live stream goes up. And it's also on my website at anamericaninbangkok.com. If you want to live here smart and stable, it could be your roadmap. So there we go. All the people are coming in now. The mall is now open. And I think it's about time to get on out of here. I got a couple things to do. Plenty to do, plenty to see. And, but, you know, this is a good conversation to have. You really got to stay on top of it. And it'll be interesting to see what happens in the coming weeks and months, because I'm not one for all this regulation. I never have been. If you haven't done anything wrong, what are they looking into you for? Oh, you might be a terrorist. Well, have I raised suspicions with you? No. Okay, well then what are you worried about? What are you going after me for? You know? Thank you to Mortgage Mike. I want to give another big shout out to Mr. Hans. Thank you very much, Mr. Hans. As always, Mr. Jono, Mr. Two Quarters Korean, and all the other people out there. Appreciate it. So now, actually, I have to go to the bank. Yeah, guilty until proven innocent. That's the way you got to do it here. It's unbelievable. I got to go to the bank now. I don't really foresee having any problems, although you never know. I could look in my app, and one of my bank accounts might be frozen. You don't know. That's how it works. So hopefully all is good, all is well. I have to push my arm over because my arm is so sore from my injury. It's been 4 months. What's today? Thursday? 4 months and 2 days since my rotator cuff injury, and it's still bad, but I'm going to start trying to use the bands to help out and see if I can make it stronger, but it hurts like hell. Nothing else you can do. So anyway, thank you to everybody, and I guess I'll just talk to you later. Maybe on Sunday. We'll see. Perhaps. I don't know. Maybe. There we go. Sawatdee to all you. And like I said, I guess that's all I got. So until next time, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Choke di leo Juk and Mai. Right, Nikki? Juk and Mai. Good luck and see you again. And that is all. Take care. All right? I'll talk to you later. Later.